Hello and welcome to this edition of Intelligent Video Today. From Intelligent Research, I'm Steve Vonderhaar, and joining us this time on the show is Chris Hanson, Director of Marketing over at Kollective. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, Steve. Great to be here. Thank you.
Hey, it's a big week for you folks at Kollective. But first, tell me a little bit about what Kollective does. You guys were one of the pioneers in the worlds of ECDNs, Enterprise Content Distribution Networks. What exactly does an ECDN do?
Yeah, great question. Let's start unpack it a little bit too. So, who needs more acronyms in some ways of their life too? But at the end of the day, so a content delivery network designed for enterprises, think of business use. And when we try to distill it down for folks and keep it as simple as possible, I like to oftentimes say we are a solution that makes live video and events work. And by work, meaning go off without a hitch. If you think about, you have these huge audiences, oftentimes tuning in, whether it's live or on demand, and especially in a business setting, the cost for failure and essentially some of the implications for that are just huge. They're through the roof. So call it, if you will, the easy button for live video. What we do essentially is get all your data to the edge of the corporate network in a very fast and easy and efficient way. And so where the technology starts to get really interesting though to how that works, if the concept is based on peering, and the idea with peering is that essentially you're turning every user within your that's tuned into an event into a bit of a micro network. And so instead of everyone going down and getting the content from the source, which oftentimes would cause bottlenecks, and again, kind of whether it's a failure to the live event, just any type of congestion, you're going to actually grab that content and peer it from the user next to you. So the concept itself is great within the enterprise setting too. And then where Kollective gets unique, and we'll get into this, is that there's multiple ways to kind of make that happen. But at the base, it's peering and it's making your live video work seamlessly and without a hitch so that you don't have any corporate catastrophes on your hands.
Yeah, so essentially, video is a pretty hefty data type to haul around the corporate network, and Kollective Solution essentially makes it easier to get that data from point A to point B.
That's right. Exactly.
So this week is, as I was saying, is a big week for you folks at Kollective. You've recently announced a pretty sizable relationship with the folks at Cisco Webex, and it's Cisco Live Week. Tell us about your partnership with Cisco and what it means for you folks.
Yeah, absolutely. And wow, are we excited, Steve? It has been, gosh, I tell you, a big partnership in the making, really over almost the past year here too. So Cisco Live, June 4th, kicked off today for being first day of the show, and Kollective is just incredibly pumped to be there. So what that means, that what the partnership is being unveiled is so that Kollective is available for Cisco resellers and partners to sell today in its base form, meaning using any front-end video solution that they all may already be using. You can plug Kollective directly into that. And then also this summer, though, the interesting part of the story is we have WebEx direct integrations with WebEx webinars, and then WebEx events coming a little bit later in the summer that are also being rolled out of that. So it's just a massive launch for us. Cisco has been an incredible partner through really the entire experience. And a lot of it comes down to why we're excited. Cisco and Kollective just share some core values and really a story behind this that makes it, at the end of the day, really powerful for the end customer. We feel that enabling choice, at the end of the day, we feel most of our customers are not just using one called video solution, but multiple. And the idea to reach every person too, inclusive communications, the idea that no matter where your users are spread out all over the network in the world, you've really got to get to every single one of them. The stakes are high. How you do it with the multiple front ends, and in some ways it becomes table stakes to do it in just a flawless and easy way too. So huge week. The show's just getting kicked off and we're getting real-time updates from the field.
That's awesome. And so what this basically means is that when a organization or a company uses WebEx, they can do a large-scale event and essentially have the Kollective networking solution carry that video content to everybody who wants to watch it on the corporate network. Is that right?
That's right, exactly too, and it's available today essentially for these Cisco sellers, partners, customers, and so for folks, no matter what they're using, again, whether they're using a combination of Cisco Webex and oftentimes plus other video solutions too, Kollective becomes that single ECDN platform that's going to streamline all their video delivery needs.
Yeah, let's talk about some of those other partnerships. So Cisco WebEx is not the only platform that Kollective works in conjunction with. You also have partnerships already in place with a broad range of platforms. Tick some of those off for us.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad you bring that up too, because again, we like to stay as again, call customer choice forward as possible too. The idea being we're not going to lock any end customers, lock them into one type of a platform too. But so other front end video solutions from Microsoft Teams, of course, still being a huge one in the enterprise space. And then we have a whole host of other folks that we integrate directly with too. Everyone from Kaltura to Vimeo to Notified to Blue Jeans, NTT, On24, World TV, Bright Cove, you name it. The list just goes on for integration partners. And then we have channel partners as well too. So that's a unique way that we, again, kind of partner with our customers too. So everybody from the BT, Orange Business Services, Avanade Zone. You think of oftentimes, the full range of kind of IT spectrum consulting services. We work closely with them too.
That partnership list is really a who's who in the world of enterprise streaming. So, congrats to you folks for that impressive list of partnerships. But why should an individual end user, an IT executive, maybe thinking about what to do with their corporate network, they look up and they see folks like Microsoft, Zoom, Google offering ECDN solutions that work within the walled gardens, if you will, of their particular event solutions. Why should you be looking at a ECDN that supports multiple platforms? Isn't a single solution good enough for most organizations?
Yeah, good question. And it's definitely should be a consideration, honestly, on everybody's list too. We like to say, oftentimes, if we're working with a new customer too, one of the things that makes Kollective shine apart from others is that we offer a trial, 30 days free, try it out. And again, we're going to oftentimes prove that value right out of the gate too, in terms of why it is important to have, again, rather than kind of one single provider here, an option to expand into multiple. And part of the reason that we're seeing it's really just come about what the business landscape is looking like these days in this hybrid work, post-COVID style dispersed audiences world that we live in too. So the challenges are only getting bigger. In some ways, we have everything from, call it, just corporate networks that are massive. You have users connecting via VPN. You have delivery to remote locations, whether it's, again, kind of behind corporate firewalls sometimes, delivery to users in China, you name it. The list just kind of goes on and on. There's also a network volatility piece to it as well too, where say the network needs are spiking sometimes. The majority of your folks may be working from home, but not everybody. And then when you do have folks come back into the office, it's in these kind of peak little mass groups. And so it still has just as much possibility and chance to kind of just crash the whole network. So bringing that back to the why for folks, we're seeing that on average, the majority of enterprises these days are using oftentimes 2 to 4 video solutions too. So, and part of that comes down to the needs. You think of, say, maybe you have Microsoft Teams for the live events being used, company all hands, things of that nature. Then you have the marketing department within an enterprise using, say, maybe a Kaltura or a Vimeo, or you name it, what other type of group that they're using, oftentimes for the specialized tools. And again, they need more kind of called player customizations. And then you have, if you layer in HR and training, and oftentimes heavy VOD usage as well too. So the list just kind of goes on. And in some ways, to think about locking yourself into one platform versus staying open and neutral to be able to kind of work with whatever the needs are is really why we feel that it's just a far better way to oftentimes stay stay as open as possible kind of through those too. And then there's some analytics and kind of integrations parts as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. You have the capability to essentially have a single point of truth when it comes to measuring and counting things, no matter what platform you're dealing with. If you have a single network and a single network analytics infrastructure to measure it all, tell us a little bit about how you folks handle analytics and how that bridges across multiple platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the analytics piece, I'm glad you touched on this. That's really where Kollective starts to shine even more so, plus the delivery kind of above and beyond. We have just done some incredible things over the past year plus here too. And quite honestly, coming from the marketing department, it's oftentimes hard for us to just kind of keep up with the amount of releases and kind of new pieces kind of coming out. But so there's 2 points to touch on. Kollective, with our analytics, we use what's called a smart ECDN. And so with that, we're going to tie in machine learning and in this case, AI and automation to really kind of optimize what's the best route we use within the whole Kollective SDK to determine, okay, maybe in some ways, peering is going to be best for this location, but another location may need to use a different way. So the network's going to optimize and kind of choose through that to help you, again, kind of make sure that you're getting content the best way possible to each user. And then on the analytics side of things, it really drills into two pieces. We're going to focus on not just the quality of delivery of the event, but also really what's going on behind the scenes with the network too. We want to help you spot issues before they even become an issue. So we've got some really amazing things coming out, things like anomaly detection, location trend analysis that our analytics is doing. It just makes it so far superior to any of the others in the space too. And then not to mention, as you pointed on, kind of bringing it all under one single pane of glass or kind of roof there too. So no matter what, again, number kind of combination of front end video solutions you're using, you log into Kollective Smart Analytics and you can view it all right there too. So efficiency being the name of the game to really kind of drive it easy and home for people. But then when they do get under the hood too, it just does a incredible amount of stuff that we like to really just show folks more on demos.
Yeah, I think not only efficiency is the name of the game, but let's say another name of the game is flexibility. And the
Mm-hmm.
ability to measure activity on a broad range of platforms provides some flexibility. But Kollective also provides flexibility in another manner in terms of the different styles of technologies that you bring to bear. Kollective isn't really just a one trick pony when it comes to ECDNs, is it?
It's not, no, and I'm glad again you bring that up. I get excited on these topics, and I can kind of dive all over the place too. But so with that, yes, Kollective has developed what we call it. Our notion is complete coverage, and so it's the idea that peering is going to cover, say, for most organizations, oftentimes maybe 90% of the use cases that the business may have. But as we know too, as we talked about those corporate networks and the needs and delivery scenarios just continually expanding and growing, that's not going to hit all the needs too. So Collective's complete coverage, the notion was to try and say, let's bring it all under one roof. So we have peering, we have the Kollective agent, and then we also have edge cache. And so all three of those combined are the three different delivery methods. And again, where it gets really exciting is the idea that businesses can pick and choose between the different three to serve up kind of what's needed for an individual location or even kind of component of their network too. So it's the power is really the three of those all working together. And the fact that Kollective really fine tunes and sets that up for you in a custom way too, as you're getting onboarded is where we really, just shine within that too. And so we like to say there's no network that's too complex in a lot of ways too. So bring us the hard stuff. That's what we're here for. And again, peering's going to check most of those boxes, but when it doesn't, that's when we love to get creative and roll up the sleeves and kind of solve everything else.
Really, you're just giving network administrators options to fit the best particular solution for their particular needs on a given corporate network. And that really is a great story to tell. And I'm sure a story that you're going to be trying to communicate at Cisco Live this week extensively, aren't you?
Absolutely. And you're so spot on there too, Steve, and that the network admins and the IT folks, they don't want to be the people that are kind of limiting the choices. At the end of the day, if they can check many boxes at the same time and then roll out one solution that's going to scale oftentimes super fast with them too, as those scaling needs can just go at lightning pace. And then too, be able to grow with them as the organization continues to expand too, and then just encounter different needs down the road. It's massive kind of with that.
Wow.
One of the buzzwords that we've been using at Cisco is this notion to you really need to supercharge your collaboration in this day and age too, and that's kind of what it comes down to. The idea of if anything's getting in the way of that, it's moving you backward, not forward. And Kollective and Cisco are super excited and fired up to just really kind of unlock a new way of thinking around that.
Well, just being that IT person who can say yes all the time instead of telling people no, that's a great position to be able to put some of your IT clients in at the end of the day. So, Chris, good luck to you and the team at Kollective at Cisco Live, and thanks so much for visiting us today on Intelligent Video today.
It's my pleasure, Steve, and likewise, really appreciate the time. Good to catch up as always, and thanks again.
And thanks to our audience for joining us for this edition of Intelligent Video today. Be sure to subscribe for more future interviews with leaders in the enterprise streaming space. For Intelligent Video today and Intelligent Research, I'm Steve Vonderhaar. Thanks for your time. And we're done. Awesome. One take, Chris.